Okay, it's 6:01, June 13th, and this is the meeting of the Sewer Commission. I'm John Reynolds, and I'm going to ask everyone to say the pledge. I'll start. I pledge allegiance
It's
to
to
the
the
flag
of the United States of America
of America,
and to the
to the
republic
republic
for
in which it stands,
one
one
nation,
nation,
under
under
God,
God,
with liberty and
indivisible,
justice for all.
With liberty and justice for all.
Okay. In accordance with the requirements of the open meeting law, please be advised that this meeting of the Sewer Commission is being recorded and will be able to be found on the Lunenburg Access YouTube channel after the meeting. The following information is also provided for members of the public that would like to participate in the meeting remotely. To participate remotely from a computer, please use the link to join the public meeting webinar found on the posted agenda, or from the telephone, dial the toll-free number 888-475-4499 and enter the webinar ID 820-5953. If you have not registered with Zoom, you will be asked for your name and an email address. No participant ID is required. Just press pound when asked. Okay, I'll do a roll call vote to see who's here. Dave McDonald,
Here.
Mike Nault,
Aye.
I for myself. I just got a text from Brett.
Yeah, I did too. He's coming on.
Okay. Let's see, staff. See, Bill Bernard will not be here. Paula Bertram,
Here.
Jane Rainley.
here.
Okay. Any public comment from the public? Let's see, we don't have any public here, right?
Right. Hey, Brett.
Hi, Brett. Brett Ranson has now joined the
Hello,
meeting.
everybody.
Paula, is our appointment going to be here tonight? Have you heard anything?
I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard that he isn't, so I'm assuming
Okay.
he is.
Okay. Okay. All right, any announcements? If none, I have one. Originally, I was going to leave this meeting early to go up to the selectmen meeting to emphasize how much our pump stations increased in volume for because of COVID. I'm not going to be able to do that. I am, however, still going to have to leave the meeting. Something came up here that I have to take care of. So I'm going to have to leave probably 10 past 7. So if someone else wants to go up there, that's fine. If not, that's fine too. But I'm going to have to leave at 7:10.
I think we'll be done by then, Mr.
I was gonna
Chair.
say, we just have to wrap it up by then, that's all.
Well, I'm hoping someone else might want to volunteer to go up to the select board meeting. Paul put together a chart that shows that in 2021 and 2022, based on what we paid Leominster, the pumps are running 50% at 50% more than they would normally run. And Fitchburg was running 27% more than they normally would run. And it will be interesting to see what happens in 2023 if we go back down to our baseline. But anyway, so if anyone wants to go up there,
Mr. Chair, if not, could Paula send an email to the chair or should be to the select board in stating this?
I can.
Because they're still considering it and
right, and the other issue is and I meant to circle back to this is the NIFTY's permit is going to be potentially imposing some additional costs on both Leominster and therefore us. So, and I think to quote Michael Ray Jeffries, these were unexpected, unanticipated, like the PFAS that the water department is experiencing. And one of the issues with the NIPD's permit is, if I understand it, having to monitor and perhaps regulate and eliminate PFAS. It might be a byproduct or output from the sewer systems.
Mr. Chair, if I could, I would recommend that Paula send that and then maybe request 2 minutes during public comment at next week's. Is there a meeting next week with the Board of Selectmen?
I know
Yes.
I don't know if that's their week off or not.
No, there's a meeting next week, right? Yeah,
All right, well, I'd be happy to go up there. Okay, it looks like we have our appointment here. Steve, and I hope I don't mispronounce your name, Terry.
Pusateri, yeah.
Okay.
It's happened
got it
once or
right.
twice.
Okay, this is about request to reduce grease trap pumping, so why don't you've got the floor.
So, thank you, John. Would like to request from the board to reduce the number of grease trap cleanouts to 1 time a year. Average, we take out about a ½ inch of grease total annually. Any cooking or baking that's done in the kitchens is done on parchment paper. The parchment paper gets put in the trash. And the only thing that we use, the kids in all the schools use trays. The trays are cleaned off, well, banged out in the trash barrels, then rinsed off, and those are thrown in the dishwasher. So the amount of grease that is being removed annually, I feel we can reduce number of cleanings to just 1 time a year versus 2.
Okay, I mean, I have my thoughts. Paula, do you have anything you want to? I looked at the reports and, certainly what Steve is saying is what we're seeing on the reports.
Right, and I went back a number of years and that's correct. I mean, they have been doing it twice a year and they remove typically about 1/4 inch of grease per time. So as Steve just said, it's about a ½ inch a year. I will just read Bill's comments. He had forwarded me some comments for the meeting. His comments are: it appears that the schools have a good argument for a 12-month pump out schedule based upon the last 2 pump outs. If the fog percentages have been very low in the past 2 to 3 years, I would recommend approving the 12-month schedule to save the town some money. So those
Okay.
are his comments.
All right, thank you, Paula. I'll just go in order of the screen here. Mike, any thoughts or comments?
I see no issue with it at all. I think once a year is fine. So,
Okay, Dave?
couple of questions. One, how big are the tanks, Paula?
The one at the high school is 4,500 gallons. And that's the only interceptor. The other ones are all internal. And Steve, if I misstated anything, please correct me.
I'm not 100% sure on the sizes, but again, in agreement, the only external tank is at the high school.
Yeah, so the last report that we have is from August. And at the high school, it was 1 inch of grease and solids, 1 inch of sludge. The percentage was 3%. And then the other internal traps had less than a 1/4 inch of grease or sludge at the other schools.
What is the activity of the schools this summer? Are they open for summer school? Are they doing any activities?
The only activities will be, I believe, at TCP. I think they're running, they may be running like extended daycare again for the summer, but as far as Turkey Hill, the high school and primary, the buildings are shut down.
What about the TCP? Do we have records of their grease trap? Is that the same thing as well? Because you got all kinds of different things going on in there.
But no one uses the, Dave, no one uses the kitchen at TCP. That's set up for storage for the food bank.
Yes, no, I'm aware of that.
So I don't have any record for TCP because I don't think there are any active grease traps there.
Okay. I don't have a problem with it then. I was more concerned about summer programs.
Brett?
Yeah, I mean, the years of history here kind of make it pretty clear that it doesn't seem to be a big deal to reduce it to once a year.
Okay, and I concur with everything that everyone has said. I think if we go to a year, we still require a 6-month inspection and implementation, that it only has to be actually cleaned once a year. I think I've got that right from the regs. But yeah, the actual cleaning once a year, I think that's fine. So I guess is this something we need to actually take an official vote on?
Yes,
Probably. All right, does someone want to make a motion?
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion, and I do have one more question. I can do it in the
Why
after.
don't you ask it before you make your motion?
The only thing I would want to see is a reminder when we go to the 1 a year. I'd like to see that either us be there during the pumping or see that report. It'd be interesting just to make sure. That's all.
But we should be seeing the report anytime.
we do see the reports, right? We get the reports within 30 days. We're supposed to get them within 30 days of pumping. This
Right.
one late, but we did, we do see them. If the commission wants to be there, I can certainly put a reminder for that.
Yeah, because the next pumping, what's the date of if we activate this tonight, when would be the next date for pumping?
They'll be back out in August, David.
The next year or this August?
Yes, August 2023.
Okay, and then the next one after that will be August 24th.
That's correct.
Yeah,
Okay,
just, if we can make a note, maybe look at it back in August 24, it'd be interesting to see, that's all.
Okay, so when we're talking pumping, we're really talking external.
External, yes.
Okay. All right, do you want to make your motion?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I recommend that we change the policy for the Lunenburg schools to pump in the external the external grease trap for 1 year starting August 23rd,
Okay,
August 23.
2023.
okay. Anyone want to second that?
I'll second that.
Okay, any further discussion?
One more question, Steve, how do you feel about the internal grease traps? Have you looked at that, or are you just going with the recommendations? And welcome to Lunenburg, by the way.
Oh, thank you. It'll be here August 1st, so quick year. I'll look at them. I know they should be at least inspected. And I had a meeting with Nadine, who is the food service director, regarding that, and to see who's going to be responsible for that.
Okay, thank you.
So if the board
I-
is interested, or the commission is interested, I can let you know as soon as I hear back from Lori at Action King, what the schedule is going to be for August, in case, you wanted to be there.
Okay, so I will say that the internal, I do get the reports for the internal, and as I said, those have only been showing about 1/4 of an inch or less when they're cleaned. So I think it would be appropriate for those to also be on a yearly schedule versus a.
Well, are those cleaned more frequently, or are they also twice a year? I thought those were done like once a quarter, no?
But they're on the same schedule,
Okay,
twice annually.
yeah, Paul, I would recommend that too.
All right, so do you want to amend your motion to make sure that it's
Mr. Chair.
the internal grease traps?
Mr. Chair, I amend my amendment to include all grease traps, including interior and exterior,
Okay, do we have someone?
minus the TCP building.
I will second the amendment to the amendment.
Okay, any further discussion? Seeing none, let's take a roll call vote. Mike,
Aye.
Dave,
Aye.
Brett,
Aye.
and I for myself. It looks like your first sewer commission meeting, Steve, was successful.
Well, thank you, everybody, for your time.
Steve, one more question. Where is your office, Steve? Where are you located?
Don't tell them, Steve.
Who? I'm in the White House.
Yeah, okay.
West wing, all by myself with the mice and the chipmunks.
Are you in the Brooks house?
Yeah,
Oh, that's you in there. And you shouldn't go in there at night. Shut the lights out, will you?
It's nice and quiet in there, Dave. I like it. They told me someone had to be there for insurance purposes or whatever. I'm taking one for the team.
A lot of history there. That's good.
Yeah,
Well, welcome. I would like to sit down with you and have a cup of coffee someday.
well, if you see the Ram pickup out there with all the stickers on the window, the doctor is in.
Okay.
Okay,
Look forward to it, Steve. Thank you.
If you want my cell phone, if anyone needs to get a hold of me for anything, 978.
Do you really want to do that on
you may-
TV?
you may
I don't
wanna
yeah,
do
think
that.
I don't think you want to do that
I
on
forgot.
TV.
you don't want to do that.
You
Never
might have
mind.
students calling you.
Yeah.
Well,
Steve,
we'll
while
just
you're
give
at it,
you
though-
Dave's cell phone number.
Steve, while you're at it, do you have your credit card number too? Can you? throw
Yeah,
that-
yeah, I've got that friend over in India who's got that $20 million. I'm still waiting for the check.
Oh,
Okay.
welcome to Lunenburg.
Thanks,
Thank you, Steve.
Nice
appreciate
meeting
it.
you, Steve.
Have a good
Take
night.
care now.
Okay, moving on to current business, organization on the board, which equates to elections, but why don't we wait and see, wait for that until hopefully Mike joins.
Yep.
Everyone agrees with that?
Yes.
Sure.
Okay. Minutes from 5:30. Everyone have a chance to take a look at those?
I did.
Yes, I did.
Okay. So,
Anybody else?
yep, I did. And as usual, Jane, thank you. All right, someone want to make a motion to accept them?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes from 5:30:23.
Any seconds?
I'll second it.
Okay, any further discussion? Seeing
Good job.
none,
Good job, Jane.
we'll take a vote. Mike,
Aye.
Dave,
Aye.
Brett,
Aye.
and I for myself, the minutes are accepted. ARPA funding.
So,
Go ahead, Paula.
so I know you guys talked about this at the very beginning, and I'm just wondering if it's possible for anyone to attend I think we'll be done long before 7 o'clock. If anyone, my concern is that if they do make some decisions tonight, we'll be too late.
I don't think they're gonna make decisions tonight, Paul, because they don't have a full board.
Oh, they don't. Okay, good. Okay.
So, Mr. Alonso, I think, is on vacation. Of course, they could. I mean, I'm not saying they're not, but
Okay. And John, I was hoping you could highlight those percentages again, because I didn't catch what you had said.
Okay. What Paula did is go back, looked at 4 years to see what we have paid Leominster and Fitchburg for the flow. And in 2022 and 2021, Leominster, the flow increase was 50%. Maybe I can hold a nice little chart up in front of the camera here.
Paula, can you share the screen?
I can share the screen.
Okay,
Well, go ahead, John, if you want to,
okay,
because I don't have the bar one, so. Yeah,
so here we have the orange is Leominster, the blue is Fitchburg. 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, and this is a 50% increase in what we paid, which equates to a 50% increase in flow, because I'm not aware of any rate increases from Fitchburg or Leominster in that time period. Okay, if you like line graphs, here's the same thing. Okay. And it's going to be really interesting to see what happens in 2023. But I think a 50% increase on any mechanical device is pretty significant.
so if it's okay with you, can I just share the screen for a second?
Yep, absolutely.
So I just want to show I had put together a, just a simple, and I really kind of want to look at, get some input from you guys. Before I send it off. Mine is the line chart. So this is the line chart that John just showed. And you can see that from 2019 to we started going up in 2020 and we're sort of leveling off. And I think that's because a lot of people haven't returned back to the office. But it will be very interesting to see what 2023 shows. So I just put together a blurb, and that's really what I want input from, because if you guys want to change it, I would welcome changes. So I have funds provided by the American Rescue Plan Act were initially designed to facilitate recovery from the devastating economic and health effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. As shown by the graph above, the Lunenburg sewer system was directly affected by the pandemic. Activity at the pumping stations increased significantly during the pandemic and continues to remain higher than normal due to the volume of people still working from home. This activity has placed substantial strain on an aging system and has resulted in a significant increase in maintenance costs. Numerous components have been replaced since the advent of the pandemic, and many more still need replacement. The Sewer Commission hopes that the Select Board will take these facts into account when determining how to allocate remaining ARPA funding. So any additions, changes, because I'll send this over, but I'm really looking for input.
I
Looks
guess
perfect.
the one thing that comes to my mind is Selectman Jeffries, when we were talking about the pump station, the manholes, he felt these should be planned as part of regular maintenance. And he said the PFAS requirements that the water department or experiences couldn't be planned. Well, I don't think any of us could have anticipated a 50% increase in volume in our pump station. And that was obviously directly related to COVID. So, I mean, I don't know if we want to put a sentence in there that says this could not be anticipated nor planned for.
Do you want to say anything about the PFAS requirements are also going to impact the cost to the sewer system?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, if I could.
Yeah,
Two
go ahead.
things. One is, hold on one second. When you said, Mr. Chair, Mr. Jeffries stated, how'd you word that? I'm sorry.
Well, okay, you guys realize that by the time I got up, I'm normally asleep for 2 hours. But I believe one of the things he said is that he ran a waste treatment facility or was involved with a waste treatment facility, and repairs to pumps and manholes should be part of, operation and maintenance, and you should plan for those.
No, I got it. You're right.
So
Okay.
with the pumps, there was no way to have planned that. At some point in time, would we get up to that volume, that would be over an extended period of time. It wouldn't be a sudden increase.
I think what I need to know is what you just said. So Mr. Jeffries compared, and we're gonna remember, between the water and the sewer, we're both enterprise funds for the town, just different headings. But the water department should be running the same way we are. You have to anticipate expenses, you have to anticipate costs. Same with us. If you look at the sewer, our amount of water that went through the system has increased. We also got paid for that. Same with the water department. The water department should have made a lot of money by selling the water. So their rates should have also, they should have made a lot of money. We, on the other hand, didn't get that because of two reasons. One is we have to pay Fitchburg and Leominster for the extra water plus the inflows. So if you look at our budgets over the last few years, we made our retained earnings back pretty easily because of different things going on in town between construction and so on. But PFAS, to us, should be handled by the enterprise fund. I agree with that. But we have to come up with a solution in our business formula to correct that. So I would put something like there that PFAS in our world equals nifty. And that's what's happening between Fitchburg, well, mainly
Yeah,
Leominster.
but we have to make sure to keep the two separated.
Yes, you gotta keep
The,
it separate.
the increased flow is absolutely because of COVID. The PFAS is because of NIFTY's, the new NIFTY's permit. And it's not just PFAS, it's nitrogen, phosphorus, and the fact that we are going to have to now look at the flood zones in Lunenburg.
Yep.
And see what impact the flood would have on our system, and have a plan in place as to how we would handle that. So that's an expense for us, but you know, anytime Leominster has to do something, you know, we have to contribute to their cost. So, and
Right, I think the message we're trying to get out is that we're trying to protect our system, but we got hit just like everybody else with COVID. And during and we've talked about this on boards in the past, over the last 2 years, is that we worked hard to maintain those systems because they were running at full capacity. And we knew that going into it. But we also had more repairs. Now, if you want to take a look, we can go back and look at what we did for repairs, because I don't know how many times we got a phone call from Barbara that, you know, pump station this and pump station that was either clogged or whatever. And Paula, you may know some of that or remember some of that the last year.
I just want to be careful not to throw too much information.
Well, these are facts. It's business facts, but it's all.
Yeah,
related
I
to
know. So Paula, regarding the NIFTYs, am I saying it correctly? You know, the nitrogen, the phosphorus,
Mm-hmm.
PFAS, and the, you know, studying the flood plans. I mean, that would be something that we'd have to hire a consultant to do, I'm pretty sure. And it, as of now, according to Wright Pierce, this is being considered a mandate with no fund. And, you know, I fully understand we're an enterprise system, but we're more integrated with the town than the water department is. I mean,
No, but I guess what I'm saying is that we have to make sure that the Board of Selectmen understand that we're an enterprise fund, and so isn't the water department. Same situation, what they got coming in.
they're fully aware of it. I mean,
I don't think they act like it though.
well, again, look, I was pretty tired, but I think Tom Alonso mentioned it about both, that these are they were set up to be independent of the town.
Yep.
Right.
I think Mr. Jeffries, you know, he'll say that they are both supposed to be independent, but it seemed to be favoring the water department more.
So can you just read that paragraph that I added and make sure that's okay? It says the new draft NIPD's permit contains significant requirements for PFAS monitoring, nitrogen and phosphorus removal, and water quality monitoring within the floodplain during a major storm event. These costs will have a direct impact on the enterprise budget and the rates paid by the users. As our engineer has stated, this is essentially an unfunded mandate.
I think that's a pretty good summary.
Yep,
Okay, so as written, you guys are okay with this if I send this over? And I just headed it as Lunenburg Sewer ARPA request.
I think
do you
that's
guys-
fine.
how
And do
about,
you guys, do you
how
guys,
about going back up to the top? Lunenburg Sewer, or the other way. Keep on going. Lunenburg Sewer Aqua request update. Revision,
supplemental information?
yes. Something like that.
Yeah, I did bring up PFAS at the beginning and then just circle back at the end, and then I neglected to do so. And Paula, the only other change, if you can throw dollar signs in front of the numbers on the left, just so they're not for sure
Okay,
that's dollars and not,
Yeah, I have fee-based.
well,
Yeah,
right.
I have fee-based,
Okay.
but I will add that. Did you guys think the bar chart or the line chart is more effective?
Oh, I like the bar chart.
You like the bar chart?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay,
the bar chart.
all right, I'll put in the bar chart. But the text as written is okay to go?
I think so.
Okay,
Good job, Paula.
okay,
So
thanks.
Paula, the bar versus the line must be a male-female thing, huh?
I think so, because I like the line. Jane, how do you feel about it? Oh, have we lost
I'd
Jane?
agree. No, I just muted myself.
Oh, okay,
Um,
you like the bar
I
chart?
like the line chart.
Me too.
That's what I usually go
I
with.
think-
There we go.
I think it's much more dramatic than the bar chart.
I agree.
Really? Do
Yeah.
you have the bar chart handy or no?
I have-
Um,
Do you have a copy of that?
I do. Let me go back to it. Hold on. I have them both so you guys could see them. Let me make this smaller. So this is the bar chart. Let me just see if I can make it smaller. Oops. I can't seem to get there. Okay, so this is the bar chart. And that's the line chart.
I think I like the line chart.
I think it's more dramatic.
I
think
agree.
so.
All right,
It
let's-
takes my breath away. I say we go with it.
All right, let's go with the line chart.
Okay.
Do we have to take an official roll call vote here?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Mr. Chair, for the record, I just want you to know, I like the other one.
Okay.
I'm not gonna,
Thanks, Dave. Thanks, Dave.
I'm not gonna cave into the girls.
All right, so what's the consensus, line or bar?
Line.
Line. Okay. Okay.
Okay, any other comments about ARPA?
No, the only thing, Mr. Chair, you did a great job last week. Thank you for your presentation. It was a long evening, I know.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
It really should have been called the PFAS meeting, not the ARPA meeting. Anyway. The next item is the Wright Pierce proposal. Did everyone have a chance to look at that?
I scanned it.
Dave, Mike?
Honestly, not really. I just got it today, so it's kind of.
I kind of looked at it, but I gotta print it and read it. I couldn't read it on my phone.
So essentially, the proposal is for $9,100 to look at, back in 2012, Wright Pierce had done a study on growth and redirecting flows, but I don't know, John, if you've had a chance to review that, but it really talks about certain things that weren't constructed at the time and may not be relevant. So
Right.
I don't know.
I think- I think enough things have changed since 2012 that we can't just look at that and throw the numbers into a inflation
Right.
calculator.
Right. So the proposal is for $9,100. The labor fee is $8,900 for 64 hours of labor and $200 for expenses. Because, and this is, I'm going to talk about under my update, is our budget is pretty tight. So I would prefer to put this in fiscal 24 anyway. After July 1st, we have $35,000 in engineering. So I think we could table this to our next meeting and give you guys a time to read it.
Yeah, I agree that I'd like to postpone this. Any thoughts?
I agree. I would wait.
Okay,
Give us a chance to look at it.
okay.
I agree.
Are we setting up a meeting with them to come in?
With Ray
No, would
Pierce?
you-
Yes,
No, would you like me to?
I think we should.
Okay, to
I know
talk
they-
about this proposal specifically, or?
Yes, in general stuff. I think Bill should be there for that too, in case there's anything going over with the maintenance program.
Okay, I can.
Well, Bill had some,
His
thought.
comment, right,
Go
his
ahead.
comments were, I recommend going forward with the proposal. We may never fully route all the wastewater to Lemonster, but this will allow us to make more informed decisions going forward. That's his recommendation.
I mean, I guess what I'm trying to say is I like to sit down with them and talk and maybe brainstorm a little bit. Then let them go. We may find something out of it that they could do at the same time instead of going back. You know what I mean?
Okay, so I will see about their availability for either July 11th or the 25th.
Okay,
27.
No, 25th, right?
Oh, July. Oh, yes. Okay,
July.
my bad. I was still looking at June 27th.
Okay,
okay, additional flow. Paula, you want to talk about that?
so I had sent out a proposed form for additional flow, and I based it on what Lemonster currently does and our current fees. So I sent out a draft form that I'd like to implement. So what it basically is that it asks for the existing number of bedrooms, the number of new bedrooms, what that increase is, and then the charge would be $220 per additional bedroom, which is our current fee. When we do a connection. For commercial use, it would be the existing use and the proposed use along with the existing square footage and proposed square footage, and then the total gallons per day increase based on Title V. And then the fee would be $2 times the gallon per day increase. We have the right to implement this under our existing regulations, and I verified that with town council, but I wanted to get your blessing on the fees to implement.
I'm all in favor of it.
me too.
Yep, no problem.
Right.
Okay, so can we get a vote?
So which one of you three want to make a motion?
Do.
Brad? No. Mr. Chair?
Oh, I'm not really supposed to make a motion.
Oh.
So I'm gonna have to pick whoever happens to be wearing a cap.
I forgot mine today.
So move, Mr. Chair.
So
Jake,
you're
did you-
moving to adopt the application for additional flow and the fees as outlined on the form?
Yes. So move. I thought I made myself clear, no? I'm gonna tell you why not one of us said it, because we all forgot how you worded it.
I know. That's one of the perks of being a chair. You don't have to make motions. Someone want to second this?
I'll second that.
Oh, sure.
Any further discussion?
No.
Seeing none. Mike,
Aye,
Dave?
Aye.
Brett?
Aye.
And I for myself, it is passed. Okay, any action items for any upcoming meetings? This would be from anyone, not just the commissioner.
I think we should put an update somewhere along the way for the IMA for Leominster. I think we're gonna keep that in front of us this summer.
Yeah, probably just have it on the agenda every
Yeah.
month, just to keep it visible.
Yes,
No, you
Yeah, I
guys
did-
don't have, go ahead, Paula.
I did check with Jake on scheduling another meeting, and he wants to wait till mid to end of July.
that's fine.
The vacation schedules, et cetera. So he let me know he would be back in touch after the 1st to schedule the next meeting.
And should we have our engineers look at that as well? Should we
We
sit
did.
down with, for the,
We did have our engineers look at it.
I mean, with us? With like Mike and I,
Okay,
just to get our thoughts.
Wright Pierce wrote, what was it, a 2-page report, Paula?
Mhm, mhm.
Have you seen that, Dave?
Yeah, but did we update them from our meeting with Lemonster? So the negotiations are gonna change every time we meet Lemonster,
Mhm.
you know, so we should be updating that with our partners just to help us guide us through the next avenue through the negotiations.
Okay, so do you want me to set up a Zoom meeting with Wright Pierce?
No, I think we should have it ourselves first and then see what we
Okay.
got, like an update. We should have an update to.
So
get it.
when you say update, you're talking about you and Mike and Bill.
Well, the board, I mean, we could do it.
Well, we have to be,
can't-
we have to be careful because, you know, we can't go into executive session. Therefore, we can't have a quorum, or we probably shouldn't have a quorum when some of the things are being discussed. So it really would be, I'm assuming Mike and Dave, Paula, Bill, and Wright Pierce.
We could do something like that. We can work out let's see what Bill's schedule is over the summer. Do we still have calling hours? Not calling hours.
So I tried to schedule for the last appointment and I still have to call Elaine because I put you in for 2:20 and then she instead of you, she put in Dave Passios. But now when I look, then she told me it's 12:30. But now when I look, I don't see you at all. So I have to find out from Elaine what is happening. So it's either 12:20 or 2:20, Dave, but I have to find out from her.
Yeah, but what day?
The 21st,
What day is the 21st?
the Wednesday.
June 21st?
Yep.
Okay.
So I've got to confirm with her because the doodle poll is not working correctly. So I've got to call her directly and find, because now you're not in there at all.
I think it's a conspiracy.
Don't laugh.
Okay. Any other action items?
Nope.
Do we want
Okay,
to have a discussion regarding the pond view notes, reaction from our council, or is that just for our information to review?
right now, I think it's, did you read both of those documents, Brett?
I read through most of it. I didn't
Really?
mean for tonight. I meant for a future action item for our future meeting.
Yeah.
Put it on the agenda.
Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah, I will do that for next meeting.
I mean, one of
Thank
them
you.
was 72 pages long, wasn't it?
I got through 3/4 of it though.
All right, so I'll put that on the next agenda.
Okay. Anything else for action items? No, okay, Paula. I think you have a lot to talk about, Paula.
I don't actually have a lot to talk
Okay.
about, I don't think. So under business manager.
Well, I guess, Paula, I don't know if you could work in some of the, I'm not trying to put you on the spot, work in some of the concerns that you and I talked about towards the end of the day today. As far as,
Yeah, I have that on my
okay,
my report. So first I'm going to talk about the jetting. Bill had mentioned that he was going to try to do the jetting in-house and use the DPW guys and Al and rent a vac truck. Unfortunately, that's not an option because of insurance requirements. So that's not going to happen. Likely we're gonna go with clean basins. Bill is trying to schedule that and hopefully it will occur before the end of the year. Or at least we'll have the quote in place so I can encumber the funds. As far as equipment maintenance, the cranes, the 3 cranes and the other equipment that were on the capital plan has been ordered. but we're gonna need to, which is just over $17,000, but we're gonna need to encumber those funds because delivery of that equipment is gonna be after the close of the year. As far as the invitation for bid, 7 vendors have requested the bid package. CTE is one of them. The deadline to request is tomorrow. According to Julie, 2 of the vendors are just information gatherers, and one of them is overseas. So I don't think that will move forward. Our budget is extremely tight. Our delinquency rate is high. It's currently 27%. I'm going to be doing demand. Jane and I plan to do demands tomorrow. Those bills that have 3 or 4 bills outstanding and a substantial amount outstanding, I'm going to send a letter along with the demand and a statement. And I want to talk to town council. I've also requested to meet with town council because I want to find out what our options are as far as delinquency, what we can do. Some of the bills are very substantial. When we talk about the budget being tight, you know, I worked with Karen today for quite a while to try to find out what our revenue is, because I've been trying to update the budget weekly because I want to make sure we're not overspending. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to pull the information from Munis because Munis hasn't been updated in quite some time, actually since March, for revenue. So I worked with Karen. Our betterment projections are significantly less than they had been anticipated. Our user charges are $93,000 less than what was forecasted. So that's going to impact our fiscal 24 budget as well as this year's budget. But the issue is, I'm very nervous about going forward because Karen has 10 more days as town accountant and there isn't anyone imminent to take her place. But very concerned about our financial situation right now. It does look like we will have a deficit. I talked with Karen today. Now that all depends on whether or not, how much the jetting is going to cost, how much if our cost to Leominster, everything is fluid. But right now, based on my best guess, we will have a slight deficit of about $15,000. So I asked Karen what happens if that occurs, and she said that will basically, that money will have to come from retained earnings. So then my next question is, where are we with retained earnings? Unfortunately, we won't know where we are with retained earnings until September. Because we won't know that number until free cash is certified, and she has no way to look into that number. So it's tough to forecast exactly where we're going to be, but we're getting very close to the end of the fiscal year. So I wanted you guys to be aware of the situation.
Mr. Chair, a couple of questions. Paula, thank you for looking at that, but a couple of things you got to look at. You got to look at actual bank accounts. So Karen can tell you what we have in the bank today for retained earnings, and that can be used as a benchmark to help us going forward.
She can't. The only number she can give us is the 2.2 million that was certified at the end of fiscal 22.
And so we know we have 2.2. That's good.
No, because we took 419.
We had 2.2, yeah.
We had 2.2. We took 400. We took 357,000.
Yeah.
This year, and we're taking 419 for next year's budget.
All right, so we just got to see what comes in for revenues the rest of the year. My only concern is a 27% delinquency. And I know I've been asking for that number for a while. That is way too high to run a business. That's 25% of our customers aren't paying us. So we got to look at that really, really seriously and find out how long has that been going on like that? Or did it just jump up with the economy the way it's been over the last few months? We got to see the trend on that too. I mean, you're always going to have delinquencies in an account, but something's driving that 27%. I'd like to know what we could do to help people if they need it, or what we have to do as a business.
I did send out with our last bills, I had talked to you guys at some point earlier about the mass housing funding and the last bills that I sent out, the fourth quarter bills, I did include an insert about mass housing and how to go about getting financial assistance. Now, but we are seeing a very high delinquency rate, and I'm very concerned about that. And some of those bills have numerous outstanding bills that have gone on for over a year.
Okay, I wonder
Yeah.
if the water department's going through the same thing.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, I know.
It's a big problem.
Inflation right now, I would bet. People
Yeah.
are having a tough time making ends meet.
Yep. All right, thank you, Paula. Any questions for Paula? Any more questions, I should say?
What a bummer you were.
Sorry. Poor John, every time he comes in, I just bombard him with stuff.
It'll work, you know what, it's gonna work out, Paul, don't worry, we do this every year.
Yeah, but our revenue, we've forecasted 1.1 million in user charges. We're only at 1,002,000, and there's no way we're going to get to that 1.1. And even next year, we forecasted even higher. So I'm concerned about that.
We have to look and adjust, that's all.
Yep, we're gonna make an adjustment somewhere.
We're gonna
Yeah.
adjust.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Yeah, we can no longer give the commissioners a stipend, huh?
No, no,
will-
not that adjustment.
I do want to get a feel from you guys. One of the things that I think makes sense to look at is the potential of an SRF loan if we don't get the ARPA funding. I have started looking at the manholes, and we talked about potentially removing manholes. We've talked about I&I and that cost. We have a very small system. I think the I&I is costing us a lot of money. And I think there's a lot of areas based on what I've done so far that it would make sense to look at removing the manholes. Some of them are only 65 feet apart. Some of them are less than 200. A lot of them are less than 200 feet apart. I did get some information from Jake on what they did and looking at their costs. I think it makes sense. So I'd like to put this on the next agenda. I'd like to find out more about what our options are. But as you guys know, we have a lot of capital needs coming up with the pump stations. And, you know, I'd like to do something about our manholes because they're not going to get better. They're only going to get more expensive.
Right, right. Yeah, yes, please put that on the agenda.
You know,
I
at enterprise,
really,
go ahead, Mike, I'm sorry.
I really think the manholes are gonna make a big difference. I really do. Seeing Lummis's results anyways, they've had very success with it, so.
I agree.
Okay,
We should have some sort of a line of credit anyways, lined up. That's a good point. So I mean, again, before Karen leaves, because once Karen's gone, as I say, there is no more. But we should have some sort of a line of credit like any other business does. I just didn't know you can do it with an enterprise fund.
It's not really a line of credit, it's a loan. It's a state revolving loan fund. But I don't know a whole lot about it. I did deal with it when I worked for the Board of Health because we got a state revolving loan fund to replace septic systems. And I managed that loan fund, so I'm assuming it's very similar, but I want to investigate it and give you guys a report next meeting.
okay, great. All right, thank you, Paula. Any other questions for Paula before we move on?
I just want to thank her for keeping us so well informed. Thank you, Paula.
Welcome.
Okay, any public comment?
Mr. Chair, I just want to send our hearts and prayers out to Jane and her family during this time. I know you're hanging in there, Jane, and we love you. Just want you to know that whatever you need, just give this commission a call.
Yeah, just let us know.
Yep,
Thank
please.
you. Appreciate it.
Great, Jane.
We're here.
Okay, any other public comments? No? Okay, you can all see our upcoming scheduled meetings. June 27th, July 11th, July 25th, and August 8th. So, if nothing else, do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, you want to second that?
I'll second that.
Any further discussion around that? No, let's take a vote. Mike,
Wow, okay. Aye.
Dave,
Yeah, okay.
Brett?
Aye, and you have time to spare, John.
Yeah, I do. And I for myself, thank you all. And we'll see you all next time. Paula, I'm sure I'll see you much sooner.
Okay. All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night,
Take care,
Lunenburg.
everybody.